Oh, you crazy girl. Welcome again to Galactic Explorers with myself, Daniella, and the lovely, as always, Dallas. Welcome to the podcast where we take you on a joyride through those earthly, spiritual, or everyday topics explored with a galactic perspective. Thank you guys for joining us so much today, whether you are listening to us on one of our podcast platforms like Spotify or Anchor, or watching us on YouTube. I want to thank everybody for supporting us because we are expanding and we are loving how you are coming to meet us. It's awesome. So thank you guys and welcome to another episode. Dallas, would you break out the bowl? We're going to have
The bowl. Haven't seen you in a while, bowl.
I know, we haven't seen the bowl in a while.
All right.
What do we got?
Ooh.
Okay.
This is a funny one. I put Marvel, movies and music guides talking to us.
Oh God, yeah. Okay. I know what this is about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what this is about. All right, we're going to get into this very interesting topic of these experiences of how our guides communicate to us, essentially, was the theme of that one. There's the different and unusual and modern ways that our guides talk to us. So we'll get into that. That was interesting.
Where do you start?
Like Marvel? It's like, what is this? Marvel? What?
I know, like,
talking? What is this?
Oh, that's right. We talk about this all the time.
Yes, we do.
Music or the movies we've watched that
So
we have connection.
Right. So essentially what we're talking about and exploring today is the occurrence and the phenomenon of when our guides and our higher selves are trying to get a message across to us that, for myself in particular, I've noticed, and maybe some of you guys out there in the wide world are as well, like this, or notice that they come in this way, is that you get these, for instance, the one type is that you get a thought form that kind of just ghosts across your brain, we'll say. It almost feels like, it literally almost feels like it's ghosting across your brain. It's like mist. A lot less wet. It's fog. I don't know. Anyway, but it doesn't make you foggy. But it's this thought.
No wet dreams here.
Across, right? And it's a quote from a movie or a TV show that you watch a lot, or maybe you only have seen once or twice, but that line stood out to you.
Mm-hmm.
There will be instances where you're going throughout your life and maybe you're making a decision, maybe you're thinking and daydreaming to yourself about how you could follow your passion, how you could make that into a business, how you can, even when you're working on self-forgiveness, light work, shadow, like any of those times where you're having any expansive hot second of expansiveness, there will be those times where your higher self or your guide tries to float a message across to you in a form in which your brain already recognizes. So your brain's already got that in there, in the recorder. It's remembered that. So it's essentially just linking itself up with the vibrational frequency of where that's stored and firing it off across your brain again, which is really cool how it, energetically, neurologically works. But they are literally getting into your head and going, remember, tap into this, like pay attention to this. And I've had them do it with, movies, Marvel, TV shows, King of the Hill. I mean, like things that you wouldn't necessarily, right? Things that you wouldn't necessarily think that these spiritual messages would come from, but they have. For instance, I was trying to tap into my guide team as a whole. And I don't know, there was something going on, but essentially I was asking, it's like, are you guys like, are you still there? Like, and have I I was playing around. So I was like, have I totally got myself off? Have I screwed myself here? And they sent across a quote from King of the Hill, which is essentially from an episode where Hank has to get silicone butt things to sit on because he's busted his tailbone and he can't sit down right. So he's got these things under his pants, and he's riding in a lawnmower race, right? And he's ended up having to join the support group with all these guys that have to wear the same prosthetic anyway. But the point is that these guys are there to support him at the race, and he's looking around, and all of a sudden he hears in the background, "We're here, no rear, get used to it," like chanting in the background. And I had asked, I was like, "Are you guys still here? Like, are you like, am I just, And they were like, "Nope, we're here, no rear, get used to it." I was like, and I literally it just stopped in the middle of whatever I was doing, because I was also doing something physical, cleaning the house or something at the time. And I had just literally had to stop and laugh my ass off of what they chose to have pass across to get their message across. Is like, "Nope, we're here. You may not be able to see us, but we're here and we're staying. So get used to it." I mean, literally, they couldn't have put it in any better words in that sense. So sometimes they will choose quotes like that to float across to you, to really do their best to get as close to the actual point that they're trying to get you to understand as possible. Because getting, messages like feathers and things and other signs and synchronicities, the numbers and stuff like that, they're wonderful, but they are way more abstract than being able to have literal direct verbal contact, essentially, where they're using stuff that you've already got in your head to communicate with you. So that's where that experience came in that I wanted to share with people, because that happens. That's a form of it. And
Mine always comes through the radio.
Oh yeah.
In the car. I'm like having a moment, and then a song will just it's so perfect. And I'm just like,
yep.
Oh, this is creepy, because it's
perfect.
Exactly what I needed to hear, or to change that pattern, or to go just give you an answer, or the support, or anything. It's so funny, and you can change the channel so many times, and it's like
it'll follow you.
Of the song.
It'll follow you. Like the song may be changed, but it's enough it's still the same,
right? Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how it works. They'll come through however you'll be able to pick it up. And that's through, we talked about the music or the movies. Yeah. And I think too, for Marvel, and I think another one we've talked about with this, with our guides talking with us, is, but also aspects of herself, of having such a familiar sense when we watch a movie or show.
Yeah.
Of, I feel like I've been there, or I've experienced this, or there's something too, especially the Marvel ones. It's just kind of like,
well, the Marvel ones in particular, really, almost all of them, because of the story arc, almost all of them are really tapping into our hero's journey archetype.
Yes. There you go.
So for those of us that, are like coming down here for the ride, to ride the wave of ascension, go surfing. We're having, that's the journey we're on.
Yeah.
We're in the second act right now. We're at the end of the second act, where we get our ass smacked down. We get our ass handed to us.
Right.
And then we have to sit there and think about our lives and the decisions that we made, and whether or not it's really who we really are.
Oh yeah.
And then bust that shit out in the third act and go kick fucking whoever's ass.
Right.
Whatever. Thanos, whoever. Okay, Thanos, Corona, same thing.
Right? Oh my God.
Right? Evil elite Thanos wants to kill off half of the population of the universe, so it makes it livable for everybody else. Does that not sound familiar to some of you in the conspiracy circle? I'm just saying, There's a reason that we're really connected into some of these messages.
Well, I think it's like, it's not like I'm going to like literally like build an armor suit and fly around, or like,
no, it's all internal. It's an internal journey and fight, and yes,
the work you
yes.
do, and showing and being your true self, because you have to be seen and you have to follow your truth in whatever form that is.
Right. And that's how you contribute to the giant puzzle of everything that is.
Yeah, and you got to face those big bad guys that you're destroying the world.
The external is a reflection of the internal. So the sooner we clean up our inner shit, people, the sooner all this stuff on the outside will cease to exist, because it just won't be caused, because we won't have the problems, because we'll have done our shit. We'll be,
Right.
It seems like a really simple concept, but we're just not trained to look at life in that way.
Well, because it's a fairy tale. So we think, or we've been told.
Well, well, I mean, this is getting into a whole nother topic, but we definitely are taught to believe in a certain type of fairy tale that's very disempowering.
Yes.
Rather than the actual reality of the fairy tale that does exist in that sense.
Yeah.
That is actually empowering.
Right.
But they don't want us to realize that we can empower ourselves through doing our own inner exploration in this end of the second act, and go, oh, wait. So this is all about what we do right now. So this is definitely a prime time. Like you and I were talking about this off camera just this morning, about how we're both getting blasted. Literally, like I'm auditorily and you are visually getting blasted.
Yeah.
With frequency of our guides, our spirit team, even ET first contact races that are trying to like break through the barrier to be like, okay, they're so close. They're so close. Like if we just keep hitting them, they'll freaking get it.
Right.
And they'll break through that glass ceiling that's keeping the distance between the spirit world and what we're actually capable of, using that in the physical world and bringing about the world that we actually want to see.
Right. And it's also so us
close.
Doing the work, like you said. Like it's just not them coming through, you know, guides or whatnot. It's us going, okay, there's something. Oh, I've seen something. I hear something. Oh, I'm
we have to come to meet them. Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and clear this stuff, and I'm gonna listen to you, and you're gonna be my guide, because you're up there. Right. You're up on the mountaintop, and you're helping me down here in my valley.
That's right. Yeah, the higher self and all your guides and everybody, ETs, like all of those benevolent ETs and stuff. Yeah, up there on the mountaintop. Us down here in the physical realm.
Just keep going that way.
Down in the valley. Can't see shit down here. But we got our recon team up there. Okay, I can see everything. And they're really trying to get a hold of us and point out when there's very poignant things that we need to pull our attention to. Oh, speaking of which, as now my phone goes off, with a 777 number, can I just talk about that real quick? Hi. Just real quick. So we're talking about how they're really trying to nail points home.
There you go.
Right. I think we could just end the episode right there. I mean, that's a prime example of when you're following a thread, either mentally with your thought or talking it out with a friend or whatever, and you're going down a thread, and then all of a sudden, bam, you get hit right in the face with a synchronicity, the numbers, a thought form, the music hits on your radio and just gives you what you need and tells you what you need to know. That's it. That is the communication between the physical and the spiritual world.
Right.
That's it. That is it.
Right.
So if you were having any kinds of those occurrences, you are it. Like that's it. Yeah. You don't have to. Yeah, we'll follow it, but it's like you don't have to question whether or not you're connected.
Right.
You don't have to question whether or not your guides and your higher self are trying to speak to you. Because if you're getting any kind of that action, any kind of this, then it's a big hell yeah. And they are just battering. I mean, like they're they're hitting on our window pretty hard
Mm-hmm.
because we're more and more of us are able to hear it and
Yeah.
go, wait, like you said, and go, wait, did I just hear something? Did that just happen? Wait, that happened a couple of days ago too. It's kind of weird. Huh. Wonder if there's something to that.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
Yes. Short answer, yes. But that's happening more and more. So they are coming out now in droves because they're like, okay, we can help them turn the tide for themselves if we give them enough support
Mm-hmm.
from this side.
Yeah.
They can't do it for us. We have to make the decisions, like you said, to clear our own shit, to make ourselves a clearer channel in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to clear up all that static and white noise on our TV antenna so that we can bring in whatever they're trying to send to us more clearly, more centered, without a lot of extraneous filters from belief systems and old shit. And
Yes.
right,
I think that's the thing too. Me and you have removed a ton of belief systems and programming,
right,
and have kind of removed ourselves some from a place of this is what it's supposed to look like, how we're supposed to look like, to
right,
no, this is us. This is generally like,
right.
I want you guys all to know that this is me and Daniella.
Yes.
This is us. This is,
right.
we're not, making shit up or have scripts or anything like
Nope.
this. Like, this is just us talking.
Right.
And we talk like this all the time, but we wanted to share it with you. And so I was like, I had a voice go, do a podcast. And
right.
here we are.
I had the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, have you thought about doing a podcast? Like, you really like listening to this guy over here. It's like, really, what's stopping you from getting behind a camera with a microphone and just talking? Because that's literally what this other guy does.
Yeah.
I mean, he happens to be a comedian, and so he, makes it a little comical and brings in like all these little characters and stuff that he does. I love it. But so why not, what's stopping me from giving it a go?
Right.
Only my own self, only my own belief that people won't listen, or that this or that or the other, or that I'll get ridiculed, or that ego death, right?
Yeah. But then we come from a place of, let's just be ourselves. Let's have our fun talks.
Yep.
And let's just bring it out to the world and make everybody included, and to think in a different perspective, because me and you have way different views than a lot of other healers or intuitives or psychics. Even people that are connected with the ETs and whatnot. Like, we have a totally different view on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we followed those little whispers. We followed that push and that motion, and we put our ego and our fears aside, and here we are. And we're growing and expanding, and it's great. We're just having fun.
But we're getting more and more synchronicity. That's amping up. Our acceleration is actually getting exponentially faster as we go along. As we do more, it gets more.
And it's rippling
off, yes, into everybody that we know.
Yeah.
It's really cool to watch. That's a whole other topic. Maybe write that one down for a topic for another time. The ripple effect, the energetic ripple effect. But to bring it back to our guides and getting messages, like you said, is that we're on this path that we're on now, sharing our experiences with all of you so that you can have an understanding that you're not alone, that these experiences don't make you weird. In fact, this is normal. And that there is a variety of experiences that you could be experiencing that includes you then in this, I hate to say, club of people that are waking up, for lack of a better term.
Definitely.
We got here through listening, like you said, to the whispers, in a sense. When we felt like almost physically, energetically pushed to get up and go check out. It's like, really, what would it take? What platforms do we like? Just, check something out online, do a little research, not even physically doing anything.
Right.
And then one thing literally led to another. They stacked on top of themselves, and it literally just folded in perfectly. without really either of us putting a lot of extra thought effort into it. It was just kind of, oh, let's follow this brain thread right now. Oh, let's follow this brain thread right now. Did you have that same brain thread? I did too. Maybe we should do something about that.
Yeah.
Those brain threads come from your help. Come from your higher self. Come from your spirit team, and maybe even benevolent ETs that are trying to get in contact with us, that are trying to help give us a little oomph into the direction that is who and what we actually prefer to be and see and experience, rather than what we got trained that we have to be to fit into a mold of a puzzle piece that is neither realistic or is really fit for anybody to fit into.
Right. Yeah.
So just by following, like you said, by being us and just recording it, here we are.
Yeah.
By listening to those tones, by like when the ear, like you're having a thought and all of a sudden you feel like you got random ass tinnitus in just that one ear, and then it goes away. That is them tuning the dial to try and get you to hear them. Literally, they're tuning the frequency that you can hear in your ear, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an adjustment of bringing in the spiritual connections that they're able to reach out and communicate to us with, and aligning that with what our physical body is capable of carrying.
Yeah. And it's the ease and the excitement. You have a thought
ease and
have
excitement.
that feeling of like, this feels really good. And it's that where you go, yes. Hey, Daniella, do you want to do a podcast together? I had this idea.
Yes. And
that was it.
But that reminds me, is like, you see that meme, like those inspirational memes that says, don't follow your fear, follow your fuck yes.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. It's that
like feeling. To put a translation to that, that's the feeling where it's just like, yeah, I wonder.
And it's that fast. Because I could have gone, oh, let me think about it. She wouldn't want to do that with me. Right. I got nothing to talk about. I can't. If I went that way, then this would never be.
Right.
Or maybe later on it would have been, but
it wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be what it is.
Right.
It would be something different.
Right in that moment. And you don't have to go out and buy something right there or go and have that experience right there. It's like you said, I'm just going to research this. I'm going to look into this more. Because when you act,
that's still taking an action in the sense
your universe is going to open up. Right. Yeah. It's going to go, oh, you want that? Okay, make sure the feed comes through. Okay, Google, do your thing. Look at all these articles or these people, and there's your rabbit hole. And then there's where your ideas will start flowing.
Right.
And then you just go from there, wherever it is.
Or even if you find, in a sense, that in the example of research, that you end up roadblocked on a particular theme, you may end up being branched off into another theme that is adjacent, but that you really didn't know exist or hadn't considered. But if you hadn't looked at that first one and realized that that would be a no-go, then you wouldn't have found the thing you were actually looking for.
Right.
That happens all the friggin' time.
Mm-hmm.
More and more and more and more. And not necessarily running into the roadblocks, but whereas you just, like you said, you're going through, following what you enjoy to do. When you have those pings of to do stuff, or to research it, or to like plan it, or at least schedule it, something, take some kind of action on it. Where you actually end up is so much cooler than what you initially imagined it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the fact that you were imagining something fun, so it got you into an energetic state, and then you took an action or two towards said energetic state, and even though you may have branched off, it got you to a something better.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be an experience or a physical thing or an interaction or whatever.
Right. Gotta be open. You gotta be open to anything, because even I'll be standing and doing dishes and I hear my kids are watching cartoons and there will be a line that sticks out and I'm just like, Okay, there it is, right? Right, or my kids will say something. It's so funny of just how something will happen or
Mhm.
trigger, and it's just like, oh, oh, okay, there it is. Thank you.
That reminds me, that's a good point you bring up. I think we were just talking about this literally right before we got on camera, is that how much our spouses,
Mm-hmm.
they speak through our spouses.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Holy smoke.
which is
Yeah.
interesting because of how our spouses are,
Mm-hmm.
um, and their energetic frequency in comparison to us, which we definitely need that balancing lodestone.
Right?
But anyway, it's interesting then to see then all of a sudden, if for instance, I'm trying to talk through something or navigate like my way through uh, a belief that I have or some kind of block, or like use him essentially as a sounding board. Yeah, like he'll go real quiet, and then it's usually a one-liner, one or maybe max two, but it's him talking, but it's literally like my higher self went to his higher self and said, "Hey, give her this message."
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
she can't hear me, but she can hear you right now, so tell her that.
Right.
And
Like
it
the
comes out of his
experience.
mouth,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's completely in context, and it's more or less what he would say,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something to it where it's like, okay, now that just came through you. Like, wait a minute. So things like that will start to happen. The more that you open up, talking about that ripple effect, the more that your guides and things will be able to start to use everything around you, everyone around you, to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your pets. That probably is even eat faster and easier, but most people can kind of, or I should say, a good section of people can certainly clue into.
Mm-hmm.
That's an avenue that they take,
Oh yeah.
almost like the Lassie effect, right?
All right.
But your cat is
Oh,
doing it, and you're like, wait a minute now.
right.
So there are so many ways, including the media, like our
Mm-hmm.
media as in arts and media, not news media. I'll be very specific about like our arts media, music, movies, television, actual art, in the sense of drawing, painting, dance, uh, all of these ways our guides will use, like you said, anything and everything at their disposal that we can hear, that we can interpret, that will translate to us
Right.
in some
Yeah.
form with the least amount of distortion.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking for the path of least resistance. So if that's movie quotes, they don't give a shit. Good. Oh, you mean I can literally actually say to you what I actually want to say to you? Like like use the words that you would understand in your language?
Right. Yeah.
Oh fuck, this is brilliant.
And your tone and your frequency at this time. There you go.
Right.
We're gonna drop it down that way.
Boom. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yep.
They love it. It makes it so easy for them. Because they can
I
just
love
drop
it
it
too.
in, be like, "Beep, there you go. Now you get it."
Yep.
There's been so many, just like, I want to say a stupid amount. And I know that's a bad way of calling it, but it's just, it's a stupidly large amount of those epiphany moments that I've had from one of those occurrences,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like something about an understanding about the nature of the world, or personal work with yourself, doing shadow work, or doing whatever is on your mind, thing of the worlds at the time. Something just clicks in at that moment, and you're like, oh, oh,
There it is.
oh.
There it is. All
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
And I want to also bring up that when those messages do come through, don't second guess them. Don't doubt them.
Yes.
Don't question it.
Agreed.
Just take it and say yes and move on with it. Because if you
Yep.
sit there with it and
if you try to logic it away from yourself, don't logic this away from yourself.
Don't involve your brain. Don't involve your ego. If you asked a question or you had a thought and you got an answer, then go. There's your mark. There's your permission slip. Take it and leave. Get the hell out of here.
That is the end of the story. Yeah, you don't have to analyze it. You don't have to worry about where you're getting this permission from. You don't have to worry about how it's going to end up happening. You just go, oh, okay, cool. I'm good. Green light. Excellent.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. And it's and get from, but finances and this and time to just yes.
But that's the work.
But yes is where you're going to expand beyond your belief. Yeah. It will. It'll happen. If you ask for it, you're going to give it. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. You just have to
say, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I had a couple of instances real quick, like as we're rounding this out today, had a couple of instances of that happening last week. Where, for instance, Frank had asked me where I wanted to go out for the Saturday. And it was between two places. And I kind of wanted to go to one, and I kind of wanted to go to the other. But I chose one, right? It wasn't as aligned, right? But I chose it anyway. And then we get there, and you can't get a table for an hour. Even for two. You know the story. And so then we end up going to this other one, discovering a whole new place. End up in the same neck of the woods as the area that we would have been in if I'd have chosen the first option. First option. And ended up having a better time. And staying up later. And having midnight yummy tacos. After playing at the arcade bar, that we still have a whole giant cup of tokens that we're going to take back this weekend and play again.
That's awesome.
So I got diverted, but because I didn't go, oh, well, now the night's fucked.
Right.
You lean into it and you go, okay, so where is this diverting us to? And just go with it. I ended up having a way better time than if I could have actually planned out that little.
Right. It's always unexpected.
So it's going to happen in weird ways where, again, you may it may seem like you get stymied or resistance. Right. But you go, oh, okay, well, let's just go this other way then. Because the other way usually is them trying to go.
Right. You're going to have funner over here. Trust me. Just go.
Right. Yeah. We're going to have more fun this way. This way.
Yeah.
And you can keep resisting. You can totally keep resisting. That is well within your right as an entity of free will.
Yep. And there's no wrong to it.
There's no. You can keep choosing it too. If you think you're going to have a better time, by God, you can just keep doing whatever you want to do.
Right.
I'm going to let you. But if you just take your hands off the wheel a little bit.
Ooh, got blurry.
There you go. Jesus, take the wheel. That's literally, I love that thing because it's a quote where it's like, it comes in and that's what that means. It's literally Jesus, take the wheel. It's like in the sense of higher power, take the wheel.
Right. Yeah.
The ego brain is no longer driving and trying to logic everything and need to have an explanation for everything and a permission for everything.
Conform it.
And an explanation and everything. Yeah. Just let that go. So try yourself, take the wheel. Be like, okay, where are we going today?
Yeah, and just follow that pull from here. I think it's always from here. And that joy and excitement and love.
Right. You're right, because your higher self, guess what, is you.
Yep.
It is you. So in no way is it interested in tricking you or leading you down a dark, dirty alley or making you fall in a pothole Like, it has zero interest in that because it is you. So why would you do that intentionally to yourself?
Even your guides. Even
Right.
some of your
Well, I
guides
mean,
are
yeah,
aspects of
essentially.
you.
Yeah. And it's the same relationship with them too. But it's like,
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure to point out because people are, I hear people say, well, I can't, I don't know if I could trust what they say because what if they lead me down, a wrong road where I'm going to get hurt or something, or something bad's going to happen or whatever. I was like, people don't understand that the higher self and even your spirit guides to a large extent are a part of you.
Mhm.
You are actually, how do we put this? You are actually an extension of them.
Yeah.
They are the greater, like if you were to take physical mass and energy into perspective, they are the greater physical, larger part of you. You are an extension. You are the hair on your higher self's head.
Right.
Physically, physicality, you are the extension. You are the thing that is reaching out and like you're here. There's a whole rest of this other higher self over here that's more than just a hand. Why on earth would it want to cut off its own fingers? That's just dumb. Right? So if you think about it in those terms, that's what you're dealing with.
Right.
So
Well,
trust in those feelings. Like Dallas said, when you're feeling them from the heart, when you're feeling them from that excitement, there is no way it would be leading you wrong ever.
mm-mm.
So you can trust in it because it's not going to lead you down a dark alley.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
Well, I mean, it could, but in that dark alley, you don't know what's at the end of it.
Dude, there might be a sweet ass party down that dark alley. I'm just saying. You never know. You might run into some kind of magic castle type place down that dark alley. There's a little hole in the wall.
What is it from
hole in the walls are some of my favorite places. I'm just saying.
Harry Potter.
Right? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, platform 9 3/4. Yeah,
Yeah, but what's
alley.
The alley? What's the alley
Diagon
called?
Alley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a scary place, but is it really?
But is it really? Right. So you're okay. Everything is okay. Your guides are constantly trying to talk to you in lots of various and sundry of different ways, like we talked about. So just keep your eyes and ears open. Keep your mind open. And if you're feeling it's coming from the heart, that it's exciting and joyful, follow that direction.
Yeah.
Because that is them. That is how they communicate with you. That is that feeling is you two communicating with one another.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally the exchange and how that is physically represented to us.
And I think too, real fast, is to play kind of an imaginary way with it of what I want, like acting it out. Does that make sense? Like, we want to do this podcast. How are we going to do this podcast? Didn't we like practice and try it out? And
yeah,
you look in the mirror and you're talking to yourself of what a topic you're going to talk about. So you look how you're going to look or how you're going to talk or what you're going to say. It's kind of like it's like a meditation or a daydream, right? Like you have this idea. Okay, sit in that idea for a minute. What would it feel like? How would your body feel? You are doing what you love and it would bring you so much excitement, even if it's making just a craft or building a table or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like you're gonna be this healer and blah blah blah.
Right. Like, it doesn't have to be, what do they call it? It's like an all-encompassing life path thing.
Yeah.
It could just be a little hobby or something that in that moment makes you really happy and joyful and excited to engage in.
Yeah. Or you're gonna have the car of your dreams. What would the steering wheel feel like? What would it feel like to go four-wheeling? Like really put yourself in that and put it in that moment when you have that drop, have that little daydream, and then
take a moment to sit in the feeling and explore it
and really build that vibration up. And then, okay, how can I get this? I'm going to do my research or act or whatever we just talked about. So
and the more you can sit in that vibration and respond and react like that, the more you're going to keep getting, because your higher self is realizing, she's getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is she getting it, but she's actually now able to take action on it so that I can continue to help her or him or who, like, to help myself navigate down there. So it's like, oh, okay, they're finally getting the message. They're finally, you know, doing the things that's making them happy. I can send them more stuff now. As opposed to, well, they're still not quite getting it. Well, they're still not quite getting it. Okay, I'll still keep sending stuff, but since they're not quite getting it, I'm not gonna like dump a load of Christmas presents on top of them yet.
Right.
They're not playing with the ones that I've already gave them.
Right. Yeah.
So it's very interesting how that works. So they're always trying to talk to you. So the more you can listen and hear and see for them, look out for them in a sense, the more they will be looking to send you, because they're going, oh, okay, she's looking. Send more.
Yeah. And it's a thought. It will be a thought that you're thinking, and then you'll have your answer. And you'll be like, wait, oh, okay. Cool.
Yep, it'll be a thought you'll be thinking, then, oh yeah, you know what? That would be fun to go and do that. Let me just go ahead.
Yeah. It's great. It's
So,
awesome.
So that is spirit guides talking to us through all kinds of different ways, including modern. That was a fun exploration. That was fun. Spirit guide communication version modern explored. But no, thank you guys for sticking with us through that one. I hope both of us hope indeed that you found it interesting and enlightening, and that maybe you can identify with some of our experiences and realize that your guides and higher self are reaching out to you too, and that you can communicate with them at any time. So thank you for journeying with us, for exploring with us. One thing we do want to not forget to mention, my brain is like, I think there's a couple of different messages trying to come in at once right now, and then my mouth gets really tongue-tied. Yeah, this is what it feels like when I start to channel and my mouth gets really tongue-tied, because there's like 2 or 3 feeds coming in.
Right. One at a time, please.
Thank you. I know, right? Oh, God. Problems. 5th dimensional, 5th density problems, where you have so many things trying to talk to you that you can't think. Darn.
Go away.
Give me a minute, you guys. I'm on the toilet. Okay.
With 5 minutes.
Actually, that's prime time, because then you're sitting there not doing anything. But anyway, thank you for sticking with us through this insanity. We appreciate you guys. If you're watching us on YouTube and watching these recordings, thank you for supporting us. Subscribe, like, share all the videos. We are now also in the full podcast audio platform. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and a whole bunch of other cool podcast free apps. You can find us absolutely for free also, and carry us around with you in your pocket. So if you want to check us out there, we will have all the links below in the description. If you'd like to support us, if you've been liking what you're hearing and actually want to support our endeavor, so that we can do more cool things and go on locations and do stuff and bring more teachings and answering questions and all kinds of whatever to you guys, you can do that very easily through our podcast homepage on Anchor, which of course the link will be right down below us.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. That's right. No, we love you guys. So if you just, if you want to support. If you want to follow, subscribe, watch, share, all the stuff. It all helps. It all builds that energy. It all gets the message out there, which is the most important thing, that you can be in control of your life by letting go of thinking that you're in control and enjoying the magic that actually life is and can be, which is more or less what we're trying to bring about. The new world. The actual new world. The actual new world, not the one where half of us are missing. Genocide. None of that. We see you, lizard Illuminati motherfuckers.
Oh, they're cute. They're just
so cute. Oh my god, I love lizards. I do. I have a snake. She's so adorable. I love
Who?
Don't you know that?
Wait, say it again. I don't know why I'm not hearing this.
But I have a snake.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, I was like, I have a snake and her face is so cute.
I don't know where my mind was for a second. Sorry.
It's okay. The lizard Illuminati got your brain. There you go.
Probably like,
oh my god. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you. We appreciate you. This has been Dallas and Daniella and Dallas for Galactic Explorers, and we will see you guys next time.